So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cube the tofu. This tofu is firm tofu, which you can get in most Oriental supermarkets. The great thing about it is that it fries really well and it won't break up. So I've put some vegetable oil in the pan and it's been heating for a couple of minutes now, and I'm going to try a small piece to see how hot it is. Yep, it's ready to go. So I'm going to pop these pieces in. Don't be tempted at this point to start turning them, because it will just break up. And as you can see, it's getting a little bit brown on each side. So you just want to turn them over, and again, just give them a couple of minutes on the other side. So look, it's ready. It's got a nice, lovely caramelized colour. We're going to take all these pieces out and pop the rest in, and really do exactly the same thing. So there they are. I'm putting them on paper because we really don't need more oil than is absolutely necessary. So it'll just absorb some of that while I put the other pieces in. So while that's going, I now have time to get my vegetables ready. Peppers and courgettes actually cook more or less at the same amount of time. So we're going to get them ready and we're going to put them all in together. I'm cutting them into nice cubes and a similar size to the tofu, because actually any dish that you make, even if it's a salad, it's always good to have vegetables more or less the same size. I'm making this colourful by using two different colours of peppers. You can use green ones if you like, you can use red ones, whichever you prefer. One of the things to think about is you want to have a fairly balanced proportion between the tofu, the courgettes and the peppers, or the butternut squash, or whatever vegetables you're doing. Probably 2/3 of the squash or the vegetables and 1/3 of the tofu. I'm now ready to put the rest of the vegetables in, but we don't need this much oil because I'm not going to be deep frying the vegetables. So let's take out pretty much 2/3 of the oil. And now I'm ready to put in my vegetables. We can turn the fire down, it doesn't need to be quite so high. So the vegetables are sauteing. Let's get our flavouring ingredients ready. The first thing we're going to do is some ginger. I've peeled a lovely piece of root ginger, and really I'm just going to slice it up. And quite frankly, the more ginger the merrier. We've got some lovely red chilies here. You need to think about how spicy your guests are going to be able to take it. This is quite a lot, so if you feel that your guests won't be able to take things too hot, take a few out. I'm going to have 3 here. I'm going to slice them on the diagonal because it really just gives it a nice look. And I'm using red chilies again because I want to add more colour to my dish. The other 3 things that we're going to add today are soy sauce, which is obviously going to make it salty as well as give it flavour. We're going to add some brown sugar, which will sweeten our dish. And another sweetening and very deeply flavouring is some star aniseed. It's a very typical Asian flavour, and it's going to be wonderful. Well, these are sautéing nicely, and they really don't need an awful lot more cooking after this. So now it's time to put all our flavouring ingredients. This is going to be about 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, a similar amount of sugar, a couple of tablespoons, and just to help us go along, I'm going to put in just a tiny bit of water. Not too much, we don't want it to be soggy, but neither do we want it to be burned. Let's give it a good stir. And at this point we can add our tofu back into the dish, because what's going to happen now is that the tofu with the sauce is going to absorb all the flavours, because tofu just like this doesn't really have any flavour at all. But now that it's going back in with all the flavourings we put in, it's going to absorb the flavour and it's going to be delicious. And that will be ready in about 15 minutes.